Welcome back to the final segment of Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David, and we are having a great time in studio. It's a beautiful sunny day. You can't get any better than this. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, the Investing with Confidence YouTube show. So, Al, as we get into this final segment here, we've covered a lot of different topics, and I have a couple questions for you before we get into this. What is the largest nation in the world?
Well, I hesitate here because I'm going to blow your thunder, I think, if I answer it correctly, but it's procrastination.
You are exactly right. It's procrastination. And that's one of those things that in that financial quick start kit that we give away is there's the cost of procrastination. Now, think about this. We talked about that four-letter word earlier. It's fees. Now, people are being charged an astronomical amount of fees in their retirement accounts, in their 401ks. If people have a broker or advisor, they're being charged a fee for that. Now, there's other fees other than just the management fee that they're being charged, right? So let's talk about what are those fees really costing people, and what is that cost of procrastination as well?
Yeah, I think most people don't look at their fees as being astronomical because they simply don't know all the fees or really know what the impact of what seems like a small fee would be. Two things. First of all, let me comment on this. Most people are in mutual funds. Most of the listeners have mutual funds, probably in your retirement account. A lot of you may be in just regular investment accounts. But here's an article, and we talk about this all the time, but a recent article I read on CNBC, 92% of actively managed funds underperformed the market over a 15-year period. So already you're starting out with something that's underperforming the market. Now, and that's not considering the fees taken out. So when you talk about fees, a lot of people think, well, maybe I'm paying 2%, something like that. And that's okay. I understand that's the cost of being in the market.
Yeah, I'm okay with paying a fee, right? That's what they say.
Yeah, right. But and that's fine. If your performance is significant, where the returns are exceeding the fees, exceeding inflation, exceeding what the market is doing, then maybe those fees are worth it. But for most people, when you take out the fees, it decreases the amount of money you can have by a significant amount, maybe 40 to 50% over your lifetime. An example I've used before is if you have $100,000 invested for 30 years at 7%, the end result should be $761,226 with zero fees. If just 2% is taken out, that means $329,000 is lost to fees. And it's not just the money taken out, it's the loss of the compounding of that money that would have been left in your account. That's 2%. Is that high? Is that low? Is that average? Well, when you think about all of the inclusive fees, the mutual fund fees may include a 12B1 fee, a management fee, marketing fees, legal fees, administrative fees, soft dollar fees, revenue sharing fees, things that you never really hear about. And then you throw the broker's charge on top of that. Maybe that's 0.75%, 2%.
That's getting depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't mean to be depressing, is that the right word? I don't mean to depress you, let me say that, because there's an answer, and the answer is control your own assets, manage your own assets. You eliminate those fees. There could be several $100,000 that you could have in retirement that you might not have if those fees are taken away from you. So whatever you can do to eliminate or reduce those fees, that's very important. We help our students with that. We talk about things that we call dynamic 401k management, how to maybe look at self-directing your assets. And here's an important concept. When you retire, what do you have to rely on? Well, you've got Social Security. You can't control that. Some of you maybe have a pension plan. Not very many of you do. That used to be the go-to retirement plan for your grandparents, your parents. They had that pension fund, which really gave them kind of a guaranteed income for life. Those are pretty much gone or severely underfunded. So the only thing you really have control over is your retirement savings. So that's why the proper education is so important, so you can control that and improve your chances of having a happy retirement.
I'm glad you brought a lot of those stats up. That 92% of mutual funds underperform the market. The last time I heard it was 90. So I hope it sounds like it could potentially be getting worse for people, which is unfortunate.
90 or 92, both high numbers.
Yeah, learn to manage it. Here's the question. What are you going to do about it? So, Al, I want to give away some tickets to help people get started. And do something a little bit different. And a lot of these things, people are uncomfortable doing. Well, you have to start to learn it. Al, I want to bring us home to the home stretch here. And I want you to talk about, how to get started. Most people just don't, other than these investing classes, which we're going to give, we're going to have one last set of tickets to give away. How can people start their process they want to make better investing decisions, but where can they go? Can you start accounts online? Do you have to have a broker? What are some of the things that you can do?
Do not have to have a broker. You can open an account online. These are easy things to do. Getting an account set up is easy. Having access to the markets is easy. You just want to make sure that you're prepared. The market will provide the opportunities. You have to be prepared. The combination of those two is what provides the potential for success. And the first step might be to come to one of these classes, Josh, because we'll go over a lot of the basics, really give you an idea of whether this is something that's right for you or maybe it's not right for you.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about, when you teach these investing classes, there's a lot of community aspect or, kind of like a country club that Online Trading Academy, our sponsor, has. And talk a little bit about the community, why that's so important to have like-minded people around you.
Yeah, and we also have bricks and mortar locations that people can come to. We think that's really important. If you go to a seminar or you read a book, if you go to a hotel seminar, you can't go back to that hotel a week later, 2 weeks later, a month later, and expect to find the people still there waiting to answer your questions. If you read a book, you can't expect the author to keep sending you updated copies of it when things change. That's why it's so important to have a place to go, a physical location, people that you can deal with on a regular basis, and other students that maybe will mentor you, or maybe you form little trading groups. It's the real benefit there is that you are spending time with like-minded people who are kind of looking at the same or very similar goals. And I think what really helps is to spend time with people that maybe have a little more accomplishment than you have, that are successful. If you spend time with people that are unsuccessful, it pretty much just bring everybody down.
Yeah, that's that whole saying, doctors hang out with doctors, construction people hang out with construction people, drug dealers hang out with drug dealers.
That's
right.
Well, that's probably very true. But what we find is that when you have 2 or 3 people that are together talking about the same subject, the overall value of those 3 or 4 minds together is unbelievable. And things come out that you might not have thought of. It's great to have somebody that can kind of not only mentor you, but that you can be kind of obligated to in a way to make sure that you're doing things right. It's nice to have somebody there that can point out what you're doing right, what you might be doing wrong. But that's part of what the benefit of being an Online Trading Academy student is.
Yeah, community is probably one of the most important aspects of trading and investing. But Al, it's getting close to the end of the show, and we've talked about a lot of different topics. How the smart money moves the markets, how us as the retail or the average investor can trade like them. We don't want to trade against them, but also the different techniques and strategies for retirement accounts, income accounts, in our accumulation years and in our distribution years. Al, last week you brought some good words of wisdom. I think it was the first one of the year. Tell you what, don't let us down.
All right. Josh, we all make time for what we feel is important in our lives. So this is a good time to ask yourself this. Is taking a chance to improve your family's financial life worth some effort and a little bit of work? For some, the financial markets are the answer, but you won't know unless you take that first step. This is something that I saw on Facebook. I can't take credit for it, but it's sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Tiptoe if you must, but take the first step.
Exactly right. Sometimes you have to take a chance to make a change, to make those better choices. And that first step is actually action. Al, we had a great show here today. If you happen to miss some of it, make sure to go to the podcast, Investing with Confidence, also on YouTube. Until next week, we get the same time. and the same place. Till then, retire young, my friends.